Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm doing a card reading regarding the message that I just posted about phase 2. If you haven't watched that message, please do so because it connects to this reading. And I'm just going to go ahead and begin. This spread is a very similar spread to what I do when I do individual readings. So if you would like a reading for yourself, I can give a lot more insights into your particular situation from Spirit that I channel from my higher self and guides in connection with yours and your situation. So I'll just go ahead and get started. On this side I have you. This is the awakened twin. On this side I have your twin or your divine partner. Divine unionship is what this whole spread is about. It's about phase 2 that was ushered in beginning May 1st, and I don't know how long it continues, but I'm definitely feeling that and getting the message that we're going to be seeing our twin flame counterparts who've been in a holding pattern, because that was what they agreed to do. They agreed to take on that role in the partnership and the unionship, and they're going to be starting to land. So that's what this is, them over here. In the center I have the energies of the two of you together. These cards, I actually pull out just the major arcana from the messages from the archangels, from Doreen Virtue. These are the energy oracle cards, the blue ones, and these ones are the romance angels. And then I have 2 different decks of tarot cards that I use. So let's take a look at you, where the energies lie for you right now. For him, this one has been coming up all the time in the masculine position in the readings I've been doing this week. Unbelievable. I'm laughing because I've seen a lot of patterns in the cards that have been showing up, so the energies are definitely in place. These are the energies that we're seeing here. I love it. Wow. The Lovers. Wow, pay attention and trust. Oh, Lovers came up twice. Okay, well, let's get started right here. We have Journey and Action both in reverse. So what I'm feeling with the energy with that is that there is a bit of a time here where we're going to see a delay in action and a delay in a journey that needs to be taking place. And I do want to read the messages for those cards. The messages really do come through and resonate as they need to. So action being reversed. This is the accelerant that ignites, or action is the accelerant that ignites your desires, but when this card is reversed, you may find that something is missing in your determination or follow through. Perhaps you've been engaging in more wishful thinking than any consistent effort, or perhaps you need to make some adjustments in what you're paying attention to. Create a structured plan, then make sure you take daily action. This will move you closer to your goals. Be flexible yet persistent and ever conscious of your ability to act on your own behalf. There is action that needs to take place regarding the journey. This shows that we are hesitating about that action. This is how I have felt myself, because I'm afraid sometimes to step forward because I'm fearful of rejection. But that fear of rejection is actually one of the main things, one of the things that we came to break through and to redefine as part of the new templates. And the journey, it not only includes the spiritual journey we're on, but we're talking about the physical journey toward union, which is really what this phase 2 is about. So because we are kind of at a point where our decisiveness is, we're holding back. Many of us have watched our twin flame counterparts being in this holding pattern, flying around and around, and we didn't understand that we're the ones in the tower. We're the ones on the ground were the ones that are making things ready for landing. We had to prepare the runway. There was snow all over it, or there was potholes in it. We had to fix it. We had to clear it. We had to clear off the snow. We had to fix the runway itself. The runway is like the template. They can't land until we did that. It was always meant to be that they would be held back. And in order for them to be able to come forward, though, we have to take action. They're going to keep in that holding pattern. The planes don't land unless they're told to by the tower. My dad is a pilot, and when I was a kid, we lived in Montana. We had a lot of people, you know, that would fly out. They had huge ranches, and so a lot of the ranchers would get their private pilot's license. There was this one old German rancher that had been in the area forever, and when he would fly into the big city of Billings, he did not follow protocol. He would just say, "This is John Shock, and I'm coming in from der South," and he would land. And here it is like an international airport. They would scramble all the other airplanes, put them in holding patterns, because everybody knew John Shock wasn't about to, you know, take orders from the tower. He was just going to land anyway. That is probably not going to happen with your twins. They're going to be following the rules for the most part. And as I'm saying this right now, looking straight ahead of me, there are two airplanes, a small private plane that's flying low and close, and then there's a jet airplane contrail right behind it. So just affirmation in what I was saying. I also see a bird flying here in the air. So this action that will be guided to take, you will be guided to take action regarding helping your twin land. And then that will continue the journey forward. So when you turn this card over, this one will follow. I'm not advising to do crazy things in a desperate fashion, but when you are guided by your higher self and the higher self of your twin, this card right next to it, the High Priestess, shows that you have the connection and that you have the powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation provide you valuable information and be at peace. The foundation of the current situation, this seems all very appropriate. We have been waiting. A lot of times I see the Seven of Cups as even a card of just the ideas and the thoughts and the dreams that you have about manifesting, but you really haven't yet manifested any of it into the physical and haven't decided yet even what you want to do. You have a lot of stuff is up in the air. Again, we have this imagery of not having landed. It's been a heavy burden. We have carried that. We've gone through the entire journey of the wands journey, and we have picked up all the wands along the way, from the Ace of Wands in the beginning when you first met your twin flame, the Two of Wands, and the Three of Wands when you had this vision that someday everything would come in, and your ships would be coming in, and you go, and then your Four of Wands, you have your divine union partnership in action. The Five of Wands is when strife began and there were conflict, and Six of Wands, maybe some triumph along with that. Seven of Wands, you're standing there saying, I'm going to take a stand about this, even though it seems like I'll be defeated. The Eight of Wands is the fast moving energy that's pushed you guys forward to this point. The Nine of Wands, where you sat there with the psychic, wounds that you've encountered along the way. The Ten of Wands, where you're burdened down by it so much that you can't even see ahead. But the Queen of Swords right next to it, going toward the center of the spread, shows that now you're standing up and you're able to, with the Sword of Victory, she has the Ace of Swords in her hands. She is very wise. She's very experienced. She may have a sharp tongue, but in this situation, I don't think she's doing that. Her mouth is closed. She is thinking. She's contemplating. She's got butterflies flying around her. Yesterday when I was up on the mountain, I laid down for a few minutes in the sun and meditated, and a giant butterfly came and landed right on my head. And she knows what needs to be done. She has the ability to communicate in the way that she needs to in order to start taking action, so that we can see both of these cards flip around. On his side, so fascinating, I see the Goddess of the Moon and the Sun side by side. The Goddess of the Moon, it's very similar to the High Priestess. It's about having psychic insights. His third eye is being open, and I tell you what, I think every single reading I've done in the last 3 days, I have had either the Goddess of the Moon or the High Priestess or both on the masculine side. Friends, he is waking up. There is no doubt about it. Light is being shed on it. The Sun being upside down, however, points that there is some depression. And I've actually had this card a number of times come up upside down for my twin. He is suffering. People, the divine masculine has suffered intensely, far more than we ever give them credit for. They took on one of the most difficult roles that you can possibly take on. I actually feel in some ways they did the harder of the two. We have been aware. We've discovered what's going on. It's taken us a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but at the same time, we have knowledge and an understanding that they don't have. The things that have kept them apart from you are things like they've had to deliberately hide themselves behind in order to stay apart. They don't know of this on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, it's programmed within them to hold back the male or the masculine counterpart in most cases. I even hate to say it, friends, but even those of you who are heterosexuals in this divine unionship journey, I feel like the males who are awake are probably much more in tune. They have a lot of the high priestess qualities. They're in tune with their feminine qualities, which is the ability to bring it down from the divine and from the source. And so regardless, this role here has mostly the masculine energies. Those are the things they're working through. They volunteered to take on this role because it's the nature of the masculine, and it's also what the masculine is clearing out. And in order to hold back from the union, which they feel just as much of a strong pull as we do, they have had to deliberately make choices and do things that bring us pain, and they are aware of it. They're aware of it on a conscious level, and they're enormously aware of it on a subconscious level, and it has hurt them. And they're feeling like this right now because they felt the big shift, and they're feeling the tug and the pull as their psychic abilities have been, amplified through the new moon and the full moon of April toward coming into May, where we're now going to be able to bring it into the physical, and it's making them sad. The good thing is anytime I see a card like this that's in reverse, know that it always can be turned around. The potential is there, and a lot of times we see the potential of it turning around right next to the card to it by him letting himself receive the insights that his higher self is wanting to bring to him through the goddess of the moon, and actually through you, because ultimately we, as the feminine side, we're the ones that are, we are the goddess, and we're shedding light through the things that we have done. It's flooding into his psyche, and that will turn that around. Let's take a look at the base of the situation right now. First of all, the world. So completion. We've just completed the cycle, and we're ready to begin the new cycle. In fact, here I see the full moon, and during that time of the cycle, it was like it's time to move on and move into the next stage. The Page of Swords is a messenger of communication. And of course, we see the connection over here. In fact, they're both looking at each other. Well, he's looking toward the center, but at least, even though his body is faced the other way, it's kind of like he's turning around. He's ready to come toward the middle, where she is ready, and they both have the matched swords of communication. So he's going to be open to your message, is what I get. And I even see a continuation here with the Knight of Swords that comes next. So, oh, by the way, the sun right here. So we had the sun reversed here with the moon goddess in between. It's very, very clear to me that this state of sadness and depression that he has is going to be reversed as he uses his psychic intuition, and he's, receives signs that he even is receiving unconsciously in order to move toward union, which is right here in the middle. And look who showed up in the middle of our spread, you guys. Archangel Michael. That is so powerful to me because it has come to me again and again recently over the last month and a half from many different places that Archangel Michael and also Archangel Metatron are watching over the twin flame unionships that have come for this special mission at this time to protect us. Also, I almost never have a spread come up that we don't see the chakras in one of the cards. With the readings I've done, it just reminds me that there's always clearing that needs to be done. Keep on doing meditations and clear your chakras through the intent of your mind, and keep those channels clear. All right, let's take a look at this. Moving forward, we have the Seven of Cups on his side too, which I think is interesting because we had it over there. The Knight of Swords is that energy that's like ready to charge ahead and move forward. So I just feel like he's finally, this is just coming up in the near future, he's finally ready to move forward and get cut through. He's going to cut through all of that, you know, what's there with the Seven of Cups that they couldn't figure out before quite what he wanted. He's going to make up his mind. And again, we see it repeating itself here. The Eight of Cups, he's finally ready after all of this time has gone by to allow these changes that were brought, especially with the full moon in Scorpio, that drug up everything out of the depths to be released. He's got it all out now, and he's ready to release it, walk away from it, and walk into what? Now, I know he's not facing the right direction. I'd like it if that card had him facing the other way, but I'm sure that he is toward this. I mean, can you believe that? The Lovers. I have to tell you a story about this card too. I had a candle burning, and in our trailer that we were living in while we were building this house, and I had a little voice in my head that said, you shouldn't be leaving a candle burning in a trailer. And I didn't listen to the voice. And that morning my schedule changed, and instead of going straight away over to my ex-husband's house to pick up the kids and take them to school, I stayed home and ate breakfast with my parents. And while we were eating breakfast, I suddenly got really, really hot, like so urgently hot, I couldn't stand it. And oh, the candle I was burning also was for my twin during the time of during the time of this eclipse season last year, and in the spring. I dashed into my room to just change my shirt so I could put a short sleeve shirt on, because I had this really weird, and I was not a hot flash because I don't have those yet. And I opened the door and smoke came billowing out. My room was on fire. We had another 30 seconds longer in there, and we would not have been able to put the fire out. My angels burned me up so I would dash in there and catch this fire in time. This card was sitting right in, it was sitting out actually underneath my candle and stuff, and somehow it survived with a little bit of a singe on it. You guys, there were negative energies. To me, this was the symbol of that it was trying to burn it down and stop it, and yet I knew the angels intervened, would not allow that to happen. That card is at the top of this spread to show us that that's what's coming in, and we have it on the feminine side as well. We see the Lovers, or the feminine or the awakened sign. We see the Lovers. We see the Three of Pentacles, which is you're working together to build something of lasting value, and you know, creative. It's a creative project, and it's done together. This particular card only shows one person, but in most tarot decks it shows a group of people, usually 3 people. And then we have the King of Swords, which I feel like it's just about that ability to communicate clearly and to take action. I think this really also speaks to the fact that it is not our role to sit back and do the traditional, you gotta wait and let him come to you kind of thing. This is not about how to catch him and keep him and following the normal rules of engagement, which means that the feminine has to sit back and wait for the man to take his time. And that's been one of the things we actually are clearing out, is that the feminine does have an active role to play in this. Now I'm going to take a look at these 2 cards. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. I do not believe this card in this position is saying that there are red flags, as in you would think of, oh, if there's red flags, then it's not going to happen, or this isn't the right person for me. Everything else in the spread shows you that this is going to happen. But I think it's more just watching for the signs. You're going to have angels coming through to you. Your spirit guides, your higher self are going to be coming to you with the signs of affirmation, and especially like I was talking about at first, where you need to pay attention to your intuition and act accordingly when it tells you to do something. Trust that everything will come. The situation is calling for you to have faith, and trust that everything is going to work out. It is working out exactly according to plan. Now I'm going to do a final 3 cards. While I'm shuffling these, I want you to think of a question in your mind, and we'll see if we get an answer to that question. We'll see if a different message comes through. If there's any cards that come through that seem odd and like I can't think of what it must mean, then I will pull some additional cards for explanation. But I'd love to see how these messages go together. We have romance, we have in the near future, and we have remain positive, which really connects to trust. To me, the message is very clear. It really resonates with the message of this whole spread, which is that we are in the near future. We're coming into a number of unions for those people who have paid attention to the signs, pay attention to the signs, and who will act accordingly. You know, the Queen and the King of Swords, in fact, look at them, they're a pair here as well, that they they're decisive. They don't just sit back and wait for everything to come to them. And the Knight is over here. He's ready to charge in as well. So those of you who do that in the near future, we're going to see results. Remain positive about that. There's no question. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. And if you are interested in having a private reading, please email me at 1111 send me number 2 unite@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.